Hi, this is Trey Passer. Welcome to my spoilers review of Deadpool and Wolverine. Again, this is, if you've seen my spoilers-free review, and so now you're here for the spoiler review. Okay, I'm going to talk about, again, the cameos, which I thought were really good. Although some of the cameos that I was expecting weren't in this movie. I don't know if maybe they had a scheduling thing and they didn't. I thought more of the 20th Century Fox X-Men were going to be in this movie. Like, I thought maybe Patrick Stewart would be in this movie. He's not. I thought maybe James Marsden, maybe Famke Janssen, Haley Berry. I thought some of those X-Men characters were going to be in this movie, but they're not, which kind of, that kind of let me down a little bit because I kind of thought they were going to be in there because I could have sworn I read somewhere that maybe James Marsden filmed something for it unless they cut those out, which I find it hard to believe that if they filmed it, they would cut it out. And, but what they did do, they did show, I guess, outtakes from, I guess, the original X-Men movie. They showed a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff. You can see a really young Hugh Jackman and they show that, and they show, I think, some of the Elektra movie in there and something else. I forgot what else. But anyway, let me go. First of all, again, I enjoyed this movie a lot. I gave it 3 stars. This movie's really good. I gave it 3 stars. Definitely, out of the 3 Deadpool movies, I think this one is the second best. Again, I like the second movie, I think, more than this movie. I think so. I think this one is like second in this one. But again, Ryan Reynolds is absolutely hilarious. And again, he lives up to his title, The Merc with a Mouth, because he's absolutely hilarious. And the fight scenes are absolutely intense, especially that scene they have in the car. It's crazy. That fight scene they have in the car with the, fight inside the car, fighting outside of the car, fighting back in the car. They're just insane. The fights that him and Hugh Jackman have are just intense. Like I said, there's a fight with them when they get sent to this, the place. I forgot what they call it in the Loki TV show where they sent them to Oblivion at the end of the universe. They have a fight there that's really good. And like I said, and the fight in the car it's just really intense. Now, as far as the cameos are concerned, the cameos that they do have are pretty good. They have Wesley Snipes as Blade in there. They have Jennifer Garner as Elektra, and they have Channing Tatum as Gambit, which that was the one that really. So I didn't know that. First of all, I didn't know any of those 3 were going to be in here, and I think actually Channing Tatum did a really good job playing Remy LeBeau with the accent. I thought he did a good job, and he got to show off using his powers and stuff and the cards and all that stuff. He actually did a decent job, and I like Wesley Snipes as Blade again. He used this famous line: "People always trying to skate uphill. Niggas always trying to skate up, ice skate uphill." And I think Jennifer Garner, of course, is good, and then also the girl that played X-93. She was you see her in the final trailer, so she's in this movie. And again, Daphne something. I think that's her name. I forgot her name. Her name's Daphne. What's it? Daphne Keane, right? Daphne Keane, who's played X-23. I think she was really good in this as well. And the good thing about her is, like I said, she grew up looking like she did when she was a little kid. So, because sometimes that can be kind of tricky when kids grow up and they don't, you change. People grow up, they look different. But she looks just like a mature version of her younger self. So it's that's why it was easier enough, I guess, to get her in there because she looked like herself, just an older version of herself. And Emma Corrin, who plays Cassandra Nova, who, if you know the comics, she's the sister of Charles Xavier. Okay, and she was a really good villain in this movie. She did some freaky things where she would basically reach into your head and basically her fingers and stuff would, and I guess that's how she would read your mind. And her fingers would come outside your eyelids and all that stuff. That was just freaky. The way she did it to Deadpool, and then she did it to the Mr. Paradox, and one of the other villains. She did it to him too, and it was just really freaky the way she did it. She basically reached in to do that. That was great. Happy Hogan was in this. Jon Favreau, he was in this. Again, of course, they had the original cast in there, like Marina Baccarat, who played Vanessa. Of course, Leslie Uggams was Blind Al. She was in there. And who else was in this? Like I said, Channing Tatum did a really good job as Gambit. He did actually do a good job with the accent, which that's the part I was kind of doubtful always said that he was going to be Gambit in the movie. I thought, can Channing Tatum do the accent? He actually did a decent job. You know, with the bow staff and the cards, he did a really good job. And like I said, it was always good to see Wesley Snipes back as Blade and Jennifer Garner as Elektra. Although I kind of wish she had her red costume, but she didn't have her red costume. She was dressed in black. But it was good to see Jennifer Garner. Then we had Aaron Stafford, who played Pyro. He was in this too as well. And also Henry Cavill plays a version, because there's a scenes in the movie where Ryan Reynolds goes around looking for Wolverines, because obviously this version and the beginning of this movie is absolutely hilarious, because he actually digs up Wolverine and he brings up the skull, and he's having a conversation with him, and then people from the TVA come to get him for messing with the timeline, and he basically just obliterates them during the opening credits and stuff. He just basically obliterates them with the skull and stuff. And it's an insane scene, okay? But also there's a part where he goes to he goes to look for versions of Wolverines, and the one version he goes to get Wolverine, and he's actually comic accurate because he's really short. I thought that was absolutely hilarious. And then he goes to get another version of, and he looks good from the back until he turns around and he says, "Oh man, it's Henry Cavill." He was playing the version of Wolverine, which I thought was absolutely hilarious. He did a good job. That stunned me. And then the other cameo that really got me was Chris Evans, because he shows up, and then people think, okay, he's going to be Cap, right? Because he shows up, but he actually, and I think even Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds thinks he's going to be Cap until he goes, he flames on and flies, and he takes off, and so this is Johnny Storm, not Steve Rogers, okay, which I thought was that was real smart. A smart thing to do, real slick thing that they did with that. I thought that was absolutely hilarious. And like I said, and Tyler Mane as Sabretooth, he was in there for a quick minute before he got his head cut off by Wolverine. But again, Hugh Jackman, and there was two scenes. He had the brown uniform on with the face mask, and then he had the yellow one, and he actually put the mask on, and he looked really, like I said, comic accurate with that. And I really appreciated that. That was really really good. But Ryan Reynolds is just is very well. He carries these movies because he's absolutely hilarious with the quips and stuff. And there's also he plays another version of Deadpool. He's actually Ryan Reynolds with without the mask on, and he has long hair and all that stuff. And he's just it's hilarious the scene between him and our regular Deadpool. Again, just absolutely hilarious. Ryan Reynolds he was born to play Deadpool, because he's the merc of the mouth, because he's absolutely hilarious in this movie, and this really just hits all the quips and the one-liners, and it was good to have Hugh Jackman come back. I'm glad he was able to convince him to come back for this movie, because he did a really good job in this, and him and Ryan Reynolds, again, like I said, those fight scenes between them are just super intense. There were those two major fights, when they get to that underground end of the world, when they have that fight. And then the fight they have in the car, which was simply insane. Fighting in the car, fighting outside of the car, fighting back into the car. That was crazy. Again, chef's kiss. Again, Ryan Reynolds for getting. And like I said, the only thing that I didn't like, but was kind of disappointing, because I thought maybe they're going to have the original X-Men in this movie, like having a cameo, like that Hugh Jackman. Like James Marsden, Famke Janssen, Haley Berry. I thought they were going to actually have them, and maybe Patrick Stewart, in this movie, but unfortunately they didn't. Okay, that was only but the cameos I did have were pretty good. Like I said, Blade and having Elektra, and specifically Channing Tatum and Chris Evans. I thought Channing Tatum did a great job as Gambit, and Chris Evans was absolutely. Was really good in this movie, and the way he dies because Deadpool basically basically told the villain that he was he's saying a whole bunch of smack about her, and she basically obliterated him, turned him into flesh and turned him into bones. She turned him into burnt skin and bones. I thought that was absolutely hilarious. And then at the end of the movie, like I think this is after the credit scene, you see Deadpool comes back and says, "Listen, I'm going to show you the tape. Everybody's blaming me for." Johnny Storm's death, but here's the tape, and he plays it. He plays a tape which you didn't see in the movie, where you actually see Chris Evans actually says all the things that Ryan Reynolds said that he said. He actually said it. They showed him saying every last word. I thought that was absolutely hilarious. But they, again, Ryan Reynolds is the man. And again, like I said, I give this movie 3 stars. Definitely go see it. It's totally worth seeing. If you want a good laugh, go see this movie. And you get intense superhero action in this as well. Real good comedy. Go see this movie. Again, 3 stars for me. Anyway, let me know what you think. If you've seen it, what do you think of it? Feel free to leave comments down below. Also have links down below to my Facebook, my Instagram. Also have a link down below to my Patreon. Excuse me. I also have a link down below to my other channel. Also have a link down below to my Patreon. Again, my Patreon is only $5 a month. Tons of content on there. Tons of unedited content on there. I have everything I have over 180 videos on there. I have everything broken down into collections, so it's easy to navigate through there. I have movies, Marvel shows, DC shows. I have Star Wars shows, and I have The Boys and Gen V broken into collections, so it's easy to navigate. So follow the link down below. Check it out if you want to support me that way. Also, I have a link down below to my merch store. Okay, I just designed, used a YouTuber named Jay gave me a great logo for my YouTube username, Trade Passer, and I put it on a bunch of items, shirts, sweatshirts, hats, mugs, a bunch of stuff. Follow the link down below to check that out. And also my first design, which I should be wearing, getting that merch this week, and you'll see what the design looks like. Okay, I think I ordered a mug, and also not a mug, a water bottle and 2 shirts. So you'll see what that first design looks like. Again, I think it's some really good stuff. So if you follow the link down, if you want to support me that way, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, please give this video a thumbs up. It helps the channel, and I truly appreciate it. Also, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you know when I upload new content to this channel. And this is Trey Passer saying so long and take care.